if you want to be in something that is very urban, that is historic, that's walkable, that you feel like you've seen in every single cool historic movie. Hey guys, this is Erin, and if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, hit that like button, click subscribe, and click that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video. Hey, I'm Erin Melton. Welcome to Live in Richmond, Virginia, and today's video is about, I'll be comparing the two most talked about neighborhoods in the Richmond area, one being Windsor Farm and the other one being the Museum District of Richmond. So what's it like to live in Windsor Farms? Well, for one, if you are looking for the spot, which is as soon as you say it, you see people say, ooh la la. It's prestigious, it's very green, it is known for its big giant lots, beautiful established homes, none of them are exactly the same, and very, very quiet streets. The nice thing about Windsor Farms is also how it is set. You are in the thick of things, super close to everything, but you feel like you're in your own little world. By comparison, the Museum District, it's urban, it is historic, it is centered around the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, one of my very favorite museums. I'm not a big museum person, but I do love that one. You have excellent walkability, great cultural amenities, all at your fingertips. A bit more so than Windsor Farms. You're gonna wanna have a car for Windsor Farms for sure. So currently, the housing market for Windsor Farm, your median sales price is about $1.2 million. Most of the highest priced homes in the Richmond area are actually located in Windsor Farms because they have those larger homes and the premier lots, and because, again, it is the prestige and the name dropping of living in Windsor Farms. Our homes in Windsor Farms tend to sell relatively quickly, at least 12 days or less, and usually if it's 12 days, it's a strategic 12 days they've set things up. Let me give you an example of what to expect. If you were looking for a property over on Canterbury in the Windsor Farms area, it was recently listed for $1.55 million. It was built in 1951. It's a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, about 4,500 square feet, and you're a little over half an acre. It's gonna give you a really good idea of what to expect. I mean, look at the landscaping, look at the architecture on this property. Homes in Windsor Farms are beautiful this way. They have stunning entryways. They always have beautiful hardscaping. There is a conversation piece and vignettes going on in so many different spots. Within the house, without the around the property, they're all distinctive. None of them are the same. An idea would be if you are on Gun Club, you might even find a place for $2.1 million. 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, about 4,000 square feet on the square footage, built in 55. And again, right around half an acre. The biggest takeaway and why people like the Windsor Farm area, besides the prestige of saying, I live in Windsor Farms, is you're going to get a larger lot size than you would say in the Museum District, and your home size is typically going to be quite a bit larger and more geared towards a residential suburban lifestyle. And it's all single family detached homes. You're not gonna have any possibility of townhouses or condos mixed in there. It's all single family detached homes. And it is always in very high demand within the luxury market in our Richmond, Virginia area for locals as well as people who are moving into the area. If you call me and you go, I fell in love with your driving tour for Windsor Farms, I fell in love with the things you were talking about, I know where we need to focus upon and where not to. So by comparison, if you're looking for something comparably priced in the Museum District, the cool thing to know is that you can have a more affordable option for you depending on what you're looking for. The median sales price in the Museum District is about $670,000. Good luck finding something for a premier property there at that price at this point, but good to know that you start off much slower than you would say in Windsor Farms. Homes sell quickly in this area as well, but perhaps not as quickly as you see in Windsor Farm because it's a little less nuanced and niched typical 25 days on market. And that can definitely vary between what the house offers. They're typically, though, going to be historical single-family homes, though you may see some row homes and condos in there. We're seeing quite a bit of increase in there where properties are being built up and either being completely torn down and renovated from the studs up, or even simply just adding some modern touch, or perhaps completely razzed and a brand new building keeping in the architecture is being built in there. You know, no question about it. Most of the homes were built in the 40s and 50s over in Windsor farms. So by comparison, you're going to get a more historic option over in the Museum District. Most of those being built in the 19-teens, the 20s. Even the homes that are more modern are going to be geared at least on the facade of being more of a historic look. And definitely no question about it. If you're looking for an actual lot, a lawn, having all that privacy, you know, Windsor Farms is going to win hands up comparison to the Museum District. So for instance, if you're looking Museum District over on West Franklin, you could find a great home for $1.2 million that was built in '51. So unusual. Usually you're seeing things over in the 1920s. Every once in a while you'll find things in comparison to what you do in Windsor Farms. You'd get 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a lot less bathrooms. I mean, you're gonna get a lot less bathrooms in the city for sure. $27.90 in the square footage. Another, if you're looking over on Grove Avenue, one of the most beautiful streets in the Museum District for sure, right at $2 million. You'd get your 6 bedrooms, and the nice thing is you will have a good number at that price point. Even in the Museum District, you're gonna have a good number of baths, probably about 4 or 5. Right about 5,000 square feet, and again, built in that beautiful, beautiful historical architecture time of 1913. So the character and the lifestyle are very different between the two, and it really comes down to what you're looking for. Windsor Farms definitely is gonna feel more calm. The tree-lined streets, they tend to be larger, wider streets as well than you're going to see in the Museum District. And you have large homes, long driveways, large garages. It's going to have a more residential, suburban, and exclusive estate feel to it. And the nice thing is you're still in Richmond, but it gives you that ability to have that quiet, more suburban life without having to move truly out into the cookie-cutter burbs. Overall, the population in the neighborhoods includes families and probably older residents. A lot of people have lived there their entire life. Many people that grew up in Windsor Farms go to school, start a career somewhere else, perhaps come back, start a family, and purchase a home over in Windsor Farms for sure. Very, very, very close to Carytown. So it does make it nice that you have that dining, your shopping, and so many different things, but I would not say that it is overall that people move to Windsor Farms to go, it's super walkable, and I love that. I mean, yes, you can walk and bike from Windsor Farms to Carytown now, but you are gonna be going over some sidewalks, some overpasses. It's not gonna be super walker friendly, if that makes sense. You're likely still gonna be taking a car in. By comparison, the Museum District is hands down so much more walkable, so much more friendly to riding your bike, not having a car at all. You've got coffee shops. You can roll out of bed, put your hair in a messy bun, and put your running shoes on and stroll on down to one of the coffee shops, or go to one of the museums or restaurants are right there. You never have to worry about where am I going to find street parking, because you are the street parking. You probably have your driveway back at your house with your little courtyard, even maybe a garage if you get the primo places. That's why people leave to the Museum District, because they love that historical feel. They love being in that urban setting and getting to enjoy that without having to spend the exorbitant amounts that you'd have to spend in some of the bigger, larger cities. Of course, we're anchored around all of your museums. They call it the Museum District for a reason. You have, of course, the Museum of Fine Arts. You have many history museums. You have the Science Museum. So many different things right there. They're always doing special events. Offer great memberships to people that want to be there on a regular basis. The art, the culture, all of the things are right there, and the beautiful buildings are gorgeous. Very strong urban residential vibe. There's foot traffic all the time, even foot traffic all the time, and street life. There's always things going on. I love it that downtown they have the first Fridays when it gets warm. That you can go and enjoy the art studios and galleries open up more. They put the food trucks up. You have the performers out there. Everything is right there. They're regularly doing food weeks and focus on different areas, and the museum district is certainly no exception there. They're regularly doing charity or fundraisers, or even hosting some sort of special thing in the evening. And it's so nice to be able to be there winter, spring, fall, or summer, and have it right there. You don't have to worry about driving your car. I mean, definitely if you had your little scale and someone says, I want to be able to walk to everything, I don't ever want to use a car, I want to be able to bike all the place, or I want to be able to walk my baby in their stroller and actually be able to go somewhere, I want to walk my dog, I want to have dog parks all over the place. The museum district is going to be the spot for you. You're probably not going to be happy over Windsor Farms. It's very different. Windsor Farm is quieter. It's more residential. Though you're close to Carytown and the parks, you're likely going to get in your car to go to them. I mean, that's the biggest difference there. So Windsor Farms, you often use the Richmond, I wouldn't say often. If you're in Windsor Farms, most of the time your kids are going to be going to one of the very exclusive and well-known and well-renowned private schools in the area. Probably, St. Catherine's, St. Christopher's. Maybe you're looking at Collegiate. Those are going to, those are probably going to be some of the larger ones, and more likely we're going to do that. I would say the biggest exception, though, is going to be Windsor Farms is zoned for Mumford Elementary School, which is extremely high demand, and it is the elementary school, if people are living downtown, that everyone's like, this is where I want to be there. Now, again, I'll put my big disclaimer hat on there, make sure that you're doing all the research to make sure the spots you're focusing on are the right fit for you. But as a whole, Windsor Farms, your kids are going to private school after they have finished up at Mumford Elementary School. Again, you've got your big old lots, your open space that appeals to a lot of families and who want a very classic suburban residential exclusive life. I have lots of friends and family that I know and grew up with over in Great Falls and the McLean area in Northern Virginia, and if they were to say to me, hey, I'm moving to Richmond, Virginia, I'd take them over to Windsor Farms in a heartbeat, because it's going to be the best apples to apples comparison for what they're used to over in Great Falls. Museum District, of course, your Richmond City schools as well, and I'd say most people that are living over there are still utilizing most of the private schools that I've mentioned before as well. Though some of them might be using the public school. For the most part, when you're looking in the more executive, exclusive, high-end price ranges for people that are looking either in the Museum District comparison to Windsor Farms, for the most part, you're going to be looking at which private school is the best fit for you. If you really want that urban lifestyle, if you want your kids to grow up and for you to be exposed to all the culture right there, Museum District is definitely going to be the better fit for you. So listening to the different things, what seems to be when you go versus what is better, Windsor Farm or the Museum District? It really comes down to what floats your boat. If you want a larger home, a more exclusive, quiet residential feel with larger lots and homes that have that wow factor that you feel like you see in the DuPont registry, for sure, the Windsor Farms is hands down going to be the one for you. By comparison, if you want to be in something that is very urban, that is historic, that's walkable, that you feel like you've seen in every single cool historic movie that is about historical figures here in the Richmond and Virginia area, you're going to want to be in the Museum District. The quintessential Richmond home is going to be in the Museum District for sure. Your walkability to the coffee shops, to all the food culture that's there, to the city breweries and to the city wineries, to the museums, and being in the know and all the festivals and everything, you're going to want to be there for sure. Sure. And someone that maybe doesn't want to take care of a lawn, doesn't want all of that responsibility, just that's not their thing. They'd love to have just a really cool, upgraded, amazing courtyard with a bunch of the beautiful California lights. Of course, let's go to Museum District. So there you have it. Windsor Farm versus the Museum District. I hope that's been helpful. I'd love to have your comments below. And if you're interested in finding out more about either of these neighborhoods, please click on my calendar and let's set up a time to see which space is the best one for you. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember, leave everything better. Once again, if this is your first time to our channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living in Richmond, Virginia, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and click that little bell so you're notified every time we release a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and always remember, leave everything better.